Crimson Desert just got patch 1.02 with upgraded PSSR sharpening on PS5 Pro, improved FSR upscaling on base PS5, and performance optimizations. I tested PS5 versus PS5 Pro across four locations, all in performance mode at 4K with FPS tracking, and compared the results to old patch 1.01.03. The results are mixed. Let me show you. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. So patch 1.02 is here, and patch notes mention upgraded PSSR sharpening on PS5 Pro, improved FSR upscaling on base PS5, and general performance and stability fixes. But they don't specifically mention any performance frame rate changes. So I tested 4 new locations on both consoles to see if anything actually improved under the hood. I've also got FPS graphs for every test so you can see the real numbers. And I will be showing you old patch 1.01.03 results at each location as well. So you can see exactly what changed between the patches. Let's get into it. Hernand Town Market, one of the most demanding spots in the game. NPCs, market stalls, particles, dynamic lighting, all hitting at once. This is a heavily CPU-bound area. So even the PS5 Pro extra GPU power can only help so much here. The base PS5 is struggling. You can see in the graph it never reaches the 60 FPS target. The frame pacing is inconsistent and you can feel it during the gameplay. The PS5 Pro is doing better. It's touching 60 in the lighter moments, but still dipping whenever it gets busy around you. Even on PS5 Pro, it's not locked FPS by any means. Compared to the old patch, the Pro has gained a few frames. The dips aren't as deep, but the base PS5 is essentially unchanged. This area still pushes both consoles. Enemy camp. And this is the cleanest result in the entire test. Look at the PS5 Pro graph. It's essentially hugging the 60 FPS line the whole way through. Minor dips here and there, but nothing you would notice during gameplay. This is as close to a locked 60 FPS as Crimson Desert gets right now. However, the base PS5 is a completely different story. It's sitting well below the target the entire time, nowhere close to 60 FPS. The gap between these two consoles in this area is massive. This location was already strong on the PS5 Pro and weak on base PS5 on the old patch, and nothing has changed. If you own a PS5 Pro, you're getting a smooth experience here. As you can see here, the base PS5 was sitting in the 40 to 50 FPS range on the old patch as well. never touching 60 FPS. So patch 1.02 hasn't made a difference for the base PS5 owners. This is clearly a GPU limited area where the PS5 Pro's extra power just pulls away. Next up, a rainstorm scene where I'm standing near and sometimes wading inside the river in the rain. Rain and water effects are some of the hardest things for any console to render. And this is where the patch made the single biggest difference. On the old patch, this location was a mess on both consoles. The PS5 Pro was crashing down to 25 FPS at multiple points, and the base PS5 was even worse with constant dips. Massive drops that you absolutely felt during gameplay. And here is the old versus new patch comparison side by side. On the left side, you see patch 1.01. The PS5 Pro looks like it's near 60 FPS, but it keeps crashing down to around 25 FPS at multiple points throughout the run. These are massive drops that you would absolutely feel during gameplay. Now look at the right side. It's patch 1.02. You can see the yellow line is sitting below 60 FPS at start and slowly working its way up. It's not a locked 60 FPS here either, but the big difference is those huge drops are gone, huge dips are gone. No more crashing to 25 FPS. It's much more stable experience on the new patch, even if it's not perfect. Okay, now we will look at the boss fight. And this one is interesting because the PS5 Pro actually behaves differently on this patch compared to the last one. The base PS5, same story as every other location, sitting well below 60, hovering around the same range we have seen throughout. No real change from the old patch. Now look at the PS5 Pro graph. It starts noticeably low and takes about 15 to 20 seconds to ramp up to near 60. Once it gets there, it mostly holds. But on the old patch, the Pro was hitting near 60 almost immediately. In a moment, I will show you PS5 versus PS5 Pro on the old patch. So it's actually a trade-off. The old patch had a better start, but some made 5 dips. The new patch ramps up slowly but stays more stable once it locks in. During actual gameplay, you'll notice that initial stutter if you jump straight into the boss encounter. Before the final verdict, I want to show you something I noticed at Three Saints Fall. Same waterfall, same console, same mode, just different patches. Look at the water on the left. That's the old patch. The waterfall has more detailed cascading. You can see individual streams of water, and the spray looks natural. Now look at the right. That's patch 1.02. The water looks flatter, the cascading detail is reduced, and the overall rendering feels a bit more washed out. So, did patch 1.02 fix performance mode? On PS5 Pro, there are real improvements. The rain and river scene went from crashing to 25 FPS to stable 60 FPS. That's a huge fix. Hernand Town gained a few frames as well. Enemy camp was already solid and stayed solid. The boss fight has a new ramp-up pattern, but it's stable once it gets going. And the new PSSR Sharpen upgrade makes the image cleaner in most areas, though it may have slightly changed how some materials like water renders. On the base PS5, and I have to be really honest here, the patch did almost nothing for performance mode. You're still well below 60 FPS across every location we tested. The gap between two consoles is now even wider than it was before. Now you don't have a choice on whether to update or not on PS5. The patch is mandatory. But the good news is if you're on PS5 Pro, this update is a net positive. The frame rate gains are real, especially in scenes with rain and water. If you're on base PS5 though, don't expect miracles, but because we are still waiting for proper performance mode fix on that side. If this comparison helped you out, please like this video. It will really help the channel. I will also be testing balanced and quality mode on both PS5 and PS5 Pro across these same locations and comparing them to the old patch. So if you want to see how those modes changed with patch 1.02, make sure you subscribe and don't miss it. I will see you in the next one. Thank you.